Hi, Paula.
Hi, Nina.
How are you?
Good.
We have 15 minutes. I gave you a list of questions. Do you have any questions about those questions?
No, I think so. I think I have answers for them
Okay,
even.
perfect. That's wonderful. Paula, what's your background?
Well, I'm originally from Washington, D.C., so my early career background was in corporate organizations back there, Marriott Corporation headquarters, large home builders, that sort of thing. Then when I moved to California in the early 80s, I worked with some sort of ground level startups. And eventually, after moving to Sonoma County, I ultimately chose to become a freelance business and publications writer. So that was the last 25 years of my career. But throughout all of that time, I have been a proponent of small business, and I have worked and volunteered with senior adults. Those have been two ongoing interests of mine.
Well, that sounds like a diverse background.
Yeah, it was. It's pretty diverse. Yes.
And how long have you been in Cloverdale?
I've been in Cloverdale 14 years.
And why Cloverdale?
Well, I was living in Santa Rosa, and I was sort of feeling like it was getting pretty crowded. And my husband went to high school in Cloverdale, actually.
He's a Cloverdalian.
He was, absolutely. And so we decided to come back here. We thought, that the real estate would be more affordable for us. And he was getting ready to retire. I could work anywhere since I worked from home. So Cloverdale seemed to make sense to us.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And why are you seeking a seat on the city council?
Well, as you know, I worked with the Reveille for many years, and that was kind of my beat, was city council. And during that time, my interest was really sparked in having some role, more active role in city governance. I really want to serve Cloverdale, and I think that my communication skills will be useful in perhaps helping bring city leadership and the community closer. People are interested in what goes on here, even though they can't always make the meetings. But how things work can be very confusing to them, and I think I can help with that. I also believe that I do have some ideas to make Cloverdale a more vibrant community and to help everybody here prosper as our city prospers. So
Wonderful.
That's my goal if I'm elected.
And that's a big goal. And kind of dovetailing on that last question, why do you think you'll do a good job?
Well, I have really followed what has been going on, what's transpired over the last several years. I've seen the city operate through good times and bad, and I've done that for a decade or more. Much of what city council does, though, actually takes place away from Cloverdale. And many people don't understand the scope of the job like I do in terms of how many committees and regional boards our council members have to participate in order to get us a seat at the table for some of the big issues that happen in the region. I get that, I understand it, and I'm available to do that. I also think I'm a good candidate because I do listen more than I talk. You might not know it at this moment, but I'm a good listener. I've interviewed people for years, and I pick up a lot of stuff that is useful in making decisions and in understanding what people want and what they're not saying when they talk.
Kind of reading in between the lines.
Yes.
What two areas do you see yourself making the most impact while serving on the city council?
Well, first of all, I think it's important for us to stay on a good course with the goals that we already have. I think that the plans that are in place are good and sensible and attainable. and we need to stay on a good course with things like our fiscal condition, which has improved vastly since we came out of the recession. We're in really good shape now. I also want to emphasize and put my attention on business attraction, support of small local businesses, and getting more living wage jobs here. I think that those three things kind of all go together, and I think they deserve to be at the top of the pile, so to speak. And then, if we succeed in making Cloverdale the vibrant city that I can believe it can be, and that I think it will be, I think that will mean that children who are being raised here now may have the motivation and desire to stay here because they'll have jobs and there will be a means for them to raise their families here. And, that means that we need to have adequate levels of housing at all income levels and accessible services available to particularly older generations who might want to age in place here. Often they have to leave to go elsewhere to live out their years. And I kind of want to stay here. I like it here.
You see yourself here.
Yeah.
Love that. Economic development, it's a big, it means a lot of different things. It encompasses a lot of different things. What does the term economic development mean to you in relation to Cloverdale and Cloverdale's economy?
Well, I think it means well-planned, sustainable growth. And added on to that, that means that what we do does not detract from what we already have in place. We don't want to grow and trample on the things that we already have that are good. And so we need to bring all aspects of the community along with that. Housing, services, cultural activities, places to play, and shopping that appeal to and serve all ages and all economic levels, I think is important. And then a balance of opportunity that is attractive, as I said before, to the next generation, so today's Cloverdale young people can afford to live here and raise their families if they choose to do so.
That would be nice. Love to
Yes.
have my family closer.
Wouldn't that be great? Yeah.
Once you take the seat on the city council, how do you plan to keep your constituents informed?
Okay. I already have a website, paularen.com, and I would maintain that website and continue to blog on it and talk about things in the community that I think are important. Let people weigh in on my opinions in terms of things that are not council business specific. However, on that end, if my idea is approved, and I've run this past a couple people and said this is something I would really like to do if I win, I would like to regularly comment on city business in the local newspaper again. I think people found it helpful. They tell me that they read it and it was helpful to them. And no matter what we do, there will be a lot of people who can't make it to council meetings.
Right.
So I'd like to do that. And then I will remain accessible by email for questions and concerns that anybody has, as I am right now. So it's contact@paularen.com if anybody wants to get a hold of me.
Okay. And I've asked you sort of all of the meaty questions, but kind of give you some time to maybe cover some things that maybe the voters might not know about you that you'd like them to know about you.
Okay. Well, first of all, before moving to Cloverdale, I did have some committee experience and board experience. I served for a number of years on the Council on Aging Board of Directors, because I mentioned before that's an interest of mine.
Is that under Marianne?
No, it was under George Prescott, so it was back in the early 90s. I also served under Tim Smith, Supervisor Smith, when I lived in Santa Rosa on the Sonoma County Economic Development Board, and one of my tasks there was working with a task force for small and home-based business. So I have that experience as well. I would like to say to people that, regardless of who votes for me, and even people who don't vote, I will be, if seated on this council, representing all residents of Cloverdale. I'm in this race because I feel I am one of maybe a couple candidates who can bring both a new face to the council and who also has some history with council. My history includes relationships with city leadership and observing all of the activities that have gone into planning and so forth so far. So I'm a person who would be a new face on council, but at the same time I have ideas based on my experience and involvement. And also, I think there are a lot of simple things that we can do to promote the community. One of them that I just started this week, and I hope other people will join me in it, is a Twitter account where I'm listing on a regular basis the things that I love about Cloverdale. And I think if everybody took a turn just sending one thing onto the Twitter account, what they love about Cloverdale, it will get the word out. And so if they want to go to hashtag Vibrant Cloverdale CA, they have an opportunity to help get the word out.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you.